Hey, this is Neal Ronaghan from Nintendo World Report, and I'm joined by Xander Morningstar.
Hello, hello.
And we're here to talk about Paper Mario the Origami King, or Paper Mario the OK. Which, I don't know if that's going to catch on. I did see someone abbreviated it as OK, and it kind of weirded me out for a second. But anyway, There's a new Paper Mario game coming out 2 months after its announcement, almost to the day. We are in mid-May right now, and on July 17th, 2020, Paper Mario the Origami King will be coming out on Nintendo Switch. And it's, I don't know, Xander, like, it was a real good trailer. That was definitely, it scratched a lot of itches. And I'm looking forward to this game. How about you?
I'm right there with you. You know, I as Jordan Rudek put it on Twitter, I'm cautiously optimistic. I have really let go of, I guess, the expectation of wanting this to be the return to form RPG that a lot of people want. Not that desire is not there anymore, but at this point, I'm just like, I enjoyed Color Splash so much. Like, I'm here for more of that, and it looks like this is more of that, with a lot more emphasis on a narrative, because they really pushed that story stuff in the first 30 seconds of this trailer. But it looks really neat, very colorful, and I'm right here with you.
Yeah, like I'm in a point, and both Xander and I are working on other videos that. Probably you will hear this one first, but then there will be an awesome analysis video from Xander, and then I'm working on something about how I went back to Paper Mario Color Splash recently. Spoilers, that's a pretty good video game.
Yeah, it is.
But, so, looking at this game, it does kind of look like an evolution of Color Splash. Like, I mean, even visually, it looks like it's building off of the really nice framework that was in that Wii U game. And then even how the environment's even presented, because it is that kind of side-scrolling view with depth, kind of evocative of how Super Paper Mario had platforming levels and how Color Splash and Sticker Star were structured as well. But there's one thing that I didn't notice in this trailer that I don't think we can totally let go of. Maybe there's not that kind of world map point-to-point level thing that was in Sticker Star and Color Splash.
No, I don't think there is at all. After having gone through it, they have shown several variations of traversing this world, and none of them seem to point to a world map. Near the beginning, you see Mario and the new sidekick character. Her name is Olivia. Yes, she's going to be the Kirsty or Huey character that follows Mario around for the entire adventure. But they meet a Babam there, and that Babam seems to be also tagging along for the adventure. But they show them on a sky tram. There is a sequence where they're on a boat. They're in a buggy. It's like a Goomba shoe buggy. A lot of different stuff going on. There's a sequence where they're going down like a waterfall in I think it was like a canoe or something. But yeah, I don't see much of a world map happening here, which is neat.
Yeah, I mean, it is something like just because it's not in the trailer doesn't mean it's not there. So maybe we're not out of the woods of that. But even like looking at some of the screenshots that are sent out, like they show very vibrant environments, definitely a lot larger and bigger than anything that we saw in Color Splash, which is really encouraging to me, because when I do think back to Paper Mario 64 and Paper Mario the Thousand Year Doors, I don't know if I'd even really call them like pure RPGs, but in the sense of the Paper Mario series, those are the most RPG heavy entries in the series.
Absolutely.
And I don't think for better or worse, I don't think we're ever going to go back to exactly what like Paper Mario 64 and the Thousand Year Door were, but it seems like we're getting a little bit closer to where that was in spirit, because we're getting back up where we're opening up the scope of the adventure, the kind of the scope of the world that is more in line with, Paper Mario 64 journeying around the Mushroom Kingdom or going through Rogueport in Thousand Year Door. One thing that also stuck out to me was the battle system, which is they don't show a lot of it. Some of like the website stuff that you can look at, I know they showed more, but it does look a lot like Color Splash's combat system, but it has this like you're in the center of these rings that spin around. Like, were you able to, with you taking a deeper dive into it, is there anything, like, are you encouraged by the
So
battle
I
system?
am. I was thinking about, like, how is this operating? But, after scrubbing through the very little footage that they did provide of this, it does look a lot like the return of the Color Splash system, which in itself isn't too far of a stone's throw away from the original system, albeit it's just different how I think it's executed, but like the fundamentals are similar. It's turn-based, but this time there is like these rings that each of the enemies are located on, and you have a set number of moves that you can use to rotate the rings that the enemies are on, and the whole objective is to line them up in a way so that way you can properly execute a traditional turn-based combat battle with them. So it's like they're almost creating a battle before the actual battle in itself. It looks like it's like an extra attack turn, if that makes any sense. I don't know if I explained that super well, but yeah, you line them up, and it also is a timed sequence, which is really probably the biggest thing that stuck out to me, because like that seems kind of unheard of. Usually you have as much time as you need in a turn-based combat for a Paper Mario game, unless there is an audience member that throws something at you, like in the Thousand Year Door, which interestingly, there are audience members in all of the sequences where they show it. And there's also a camera option, so it looks like you can actually rotate the camera 360 degrees around this circular battlefield. And so I'm wondering if you also have to keep in mind of the audience that's around you, if they actually play a role. They might just be spectators, which would be fine, but I don't know, I like the element of the audience's interaction if they're going to be there. That just seems like a neat thing. So there's a lot more to it, but again, they haven't shown a lot about the actual turn-based stuff. We know a lot about this ring-based combat now, even though we have questions about how it's actually going to work. I think I can kind of see where they're going with it, but when it comes to the actual turn-based stuff, I'm not sure if it's going to be the dispensable items for attacks again, or if it's actually going to be something that is more traditional. We do see a part where they talk about Mario using like a shiny hammer or shiny jump ability, and I'm like, well, that looks kind of like the Sticker Star / Color Splash way of doing it, but we don't know if that's actually a collectible or not, so I'm not sure, but it looks like it's shaking up a little bit, which is refreshing.
Yeah, and it's one thing that I noticed in going back, like full disclosure, I don't like Sticker Star. Not really at all. But Color Splash won me over when I went back to it recently, and I do have to say that I think the Color Splash's battle system might be one of the weaker elements of that game, but I don't think it's necessarily bad. Mm-hmm. And the fact that they're adding a little bit more potentially interesting complexity to it makes me really happy, because I think that the evolution of like this kind of like rejiggered Paper Mario battle system, kind of everything got blown up going into Sticker Star, but with this being the third game in that chain of sticker card-based combat, if they are going to stick with that, I have a lot of faith that I think they'll be able to kind of evolve and iterate on that further to make it a lot more of a refreshing experience. Because that's the thing, is that in Sticker Star, I felt like battles were pointless, but in Color Splash, the goal of those battles is to be as like effective and efficient as possible, which is why I think some of that, like the timing elements that you mentioned with the ring-based system, I feel like that plays into it, where like if it is similar to Color Splash, or at least inspired by it, which does seem like it clearly is, maybe it is you hop into that battle and it's like quick move, like figure out this puzzle of how to line up these enemies as quickly as possible, then do your jump attack or your hammer attack to knock them out as quickly as you can and as efficiently and effectively as possible.
Right. When you played Color Splash, usually you would start the battle and you'd have a deck of cards that you would scroll through, and then you would pick the moves that you want to execute in a way that would maximize what you can do to the enemies that are on the field. And if you killed an enemy too early and or something goes unexpected, that could mess up how you have planned things out. So that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. It would just be a bit more of a time waster. Whereas in this case, like they're kind of making that the actual game before you actually complete the repetitive battle system. You are trying to execute this as quickly as possible. And I'm not sure if in Color Splash if that was actually an intention, but it seems like they are running with that and they're designing the fights around this with this ring-based system, which I'm all for. I'm all for trying out new things. My hesitation as well, wouldn't that make the battle longer? And people were really like annoyed with how long battling took in Color Splash. But if it's fun, I think it's gonna be. It could be fun, right? And like I said, I want to try something new, and this looks like it's trying something that we haven't seen before. I just like the idea of taking what has always been like a line of enemies and then having them surround Mario, and you have to kind of choose your path and create your own line. I just think it's kind of a neat thing. But I don't think I've seen anything like this before, so if it ends up being terrible, like, I don't know. I won't know until I play it, but I'm all for the idea.
Now, there's also probably the best part of Color Splash, in my opinion, is like just the exploration and traversal and like what you do with the hammer and the paint and everything. And it seems like the primary mechanic for that turns Mario into the next fighter in arms.
Yeah, yes.
He has the 1,000-fold arms ability, where his arms extend like accordions to interact with the environment. Like, it looks like the control, probably the default controls, or maybe it's similar to Mario Odyssey in a way, and that they might encourage you to use the Joy-Con separately.
Yeah.
Because it looks like each Joy-Con is kind of mapped to an arm.
Right.
Which I think that could lead to some really fun interactions with the world and levels. Or I guess there's not levels, it's just the world and dungeons.
Yeah, I could definitely see them playing a lot with using each as a hand, because they are very long hands, and then, I don't know, catching something or moving something. The eShop description describes it as you can basically peel or pull or push just different objects in the world. And they do show like a motion control like sequence prompt when he's using them, but we only see a little bit. It's not actually like showing each one individually for each hand. It's just kind of do this motion and then the hands will do this. So
yeah.
I'm not sure if it's actually going to be truly one-to-one. I think that would be really neat. But it looks like this is kind of their replacement or evolution of the what was that in Sticker Star and Color Splash? You had like the ability to cut out elements of the world.
Yeah. There's the cutout ability, and things don't look like they're coming back.
No, I didn't see any things. The closest thing I saw was that like statued monster made out of like wool or yarn, but that looked more of a set piece in the world rather than like an actual item you'd use in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's still an element where I thought, once again, they improved upon it in Color Splash from Sticker Star, but maybe things are something that can go away, and that's fine. I do like all the paper mache or whatever they are. The weird. There's the Goombas eating walls, and then even the really cute little stinger at the end of the trailer where Mario is wearing a paper mache Samus helmet from Metroid, and then there's also a Donkey Kong helmet in that room, which it's really
it is
cute.
very cute.
I don't think it's not teasing anything. It's just cute, guys.
Yeah, you see a lot of that actually. There's a few screenshots where there are just hordes of enemies in these paper mache body outfits of the traditional 3D Mario enemies, but they have this paper mache texture on them, and it is very cute. And some of them actually have hollowed out eyes, and you can see inside of them, and like you can see actual enemies moving them around, and there's a bit of wiring in there, just like an actual paper mache sculpture, which is awesome. Very neat. I'm not sure if there's ever going to be like a 3D model viewer in this game. I doubt it, but that'd be something cool to explore.
Yeah. Another thing is, as we kind of, I guess, let's talk about another cool thing about this game, and then maybe talk about our wildest dreams and hopes for this game that is coming out in 2 months. Partners look like they are back, and not in the you have a paint can that follows you around, where like he's very helpful and he's cool, but partners in Thousand Year Door and Super Paper Mario and Paper Mario 64 those were very memorable characters, and it looks like there's Olivia, who seems to be like the primary partner.
Yes.
Tied in with the Origami King, the titular king. She is
his sister, I believe.
Yeah, that's what I have it up. I can double.
I believe
check.
She is his sister, and he is the game's the namesake character, which
King Ollie.
King Ollie, which makes me like not that I'm looking for a incredibly deep narrative given like the recent Paper Mario games, but they do push it here in this trailer, literally saying like there's an origami plot unfolding, and in a lot of media where there is the name of the the piece is after the villain. The villain usually turns out to be a good guy. I'm not trying to like spoil anything, but like you think of like Harry Potter, heck, Super Paper Mario. You know, they've done this kind of stuff before. So I'm wondering if there is going to be a little bit more there, or if it's just going to be a Paper Mario affair. Either way, you know, it looks neat. But yeah, you're right. The partners are returning. We see Babam, who looks like a just standard Babam. I don't think he had a wick.
Yeah.
That was like the one thing I noticed about him. But you meet him on the Skytram, and he's like, "Hey, I'm a Babam." And you're like,
he's like, "I'm a Babam."
It's like, okay, fair.
Yeah, there's also, I mean, there's a Magic Koopa that looks like it's a partner as well.
We see Bowser Jr. I actually think that this whole story is pretty much going to be in line with you just teaming up with Bowser and his minions, rather than like exploring the world with, I guess, the redesigned Paper Mario characters or like other races. Yeah. It looks like Bowser has been turned into this small piece of paper that's gonna tag along with you, but he seems pretty helpless, so he has to kind of convince his enemies or his baddies to help you out.
I mean, that definitely seems like a very, like you saying about how maybe King Ollie is going to get redeemed by the end of it, but I mean, it could be something where King Ollie is misunderstood, and then when you get to the third act of the game, maybe it is something like, oh, King Ollie's actually not bad, but then Bowser's freed from being folded up, and then he turns on you, or something like that. Or maybe Bowser Jr. goes Power Man. Because, I mean, like, Bowser has been the enemy in Paper Mario games before, but, like, I mean, there's the potential, like, in Super Paper Mario, where he kind of isn't.
Yeah, he's one of the heroes of that story.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's probably the best part of that game. Like, I love playing as Bowser in Super Paper Mario. Thinking about it makes me want to replay that game, because, you know, it's Super Paper Mario. Maybe it's misunderstood. I don't know. But I just looking at some of these screenshots, like just like going around the water, going around to that little Koopa Shoe buggy, or the Goomba Shoe buggy. I would like to live in this world and explore it. So with that in mind, Xander, what do you think? What do you hope? What do you hope will be the takeaway from the Origami King after it comes out?
For me, or for the community, or for where Nintendo goes next?
All of the above.
I'm hoping I enjoy it. You know, I was cautiously optimistic with Color Splash, and I liked it more than I thought I would. And then, you know, when that song and dance was over with, I thought, well, maybe the next one they're going to go back to this other genre that I've been wanting and a lot of other people have been wanting. And I don't think they're necessarily doing that, but I also don't think that they're continuing exactly what they've done before. I see a lot of people calling this Color Splash 2. I'm not really sold on that notion. I think that's a little dismissive. Sure, they are using a lot of the same assets, but maybe tweaked. I hope people enjoy it. I hope people give it a shot. My fear is that I already feel like, and it's just day one, this game is coming and going. You know, it was announced spontaneously in a trailer on YouTube today, and now it's coming out in 2 months, and who knows what other announcements they will have between now and then that might, I mean, I don't know, Clubhouse 51 games might overshadow this one. I'm just kidding. But, you know, I want people to enjoy this. I hope that people who have never played a Paper Mario game do enjoy it. I hope that the battle system doesn't scare people away. If it's anything like Color Splash, you know, expect a comedic treat, because that game was very funny. At least I thought so.
I agree.
I'm hopeful, you know. When I first watched it, I watched it literally as soon as I woke up, and I was a little mellow on it just because I was kind of still in disbelief. But after having done a lot of analyzing and rewatching the trailer, I'm a lot more excited for it. I'm still kind of in disbelief that the whole thing is happening. Like 24 hours ago, you would have told me this, I would have been shocked. But here we are. So it's an exciting time. I'm hopeful, and plus, I mean, they're really pushing the story. That was like they focused more on that than the gameplay in the trailer, which
it starts off with a haunting scene with Origami Peach being like, "Do you want to join us?"
Yeah,
and it's just like, it's so slow. I mean, which, you know, kind of par for the course for Paper Mario games. I enjoy them. They're very wordy and they take their time.
They take their time.
But like, it was just this very it's this very slow starting scene that, what is it? It's like 30 seconds
yeah,
of a 2-minute trailer.
That's a good portion of the to be honest with you.
Yeah, and
it's
then,
very
and then it's
front-loaded.
just like, here's a minute and a half of just like jump cuts and like nonsense is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look at this boat, look at this buggy, look at this battle system, very briefly.
When I was doing my analysis, I was like, oh man, I've got like 60 paragraphs. Like, okay, and now this shot does this, and then this shot's showing this. And I'm like, how many more are there? This is only a 2.5 minute trailer. Good grief. But yeah, they squeezed quite a bit in.
Yeah, they packed a lot into it, and I think my big takeaway from at least what was presented in this trailer is this might not be exactly what I want out of a Paper Mario game. Like, I think if I had my druthers, it would be leaning a little bit more on the 1,000-year door side of the equation versus the Color Splash side of the equation. But it seems like this is a lot more of a middle ground step.
Yeah, and I don't mean to jump the gun here, but I think this is part of the conversation now.
Because it seems like they are making it a much more epic story. Not that, like, Sticker Store and Color Splash were, like, totally quaint. Like, they still get ridiculous and, have big finales and everything.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't want to jump the gun here, but, like, I think this is part of the conversation now.
We lost Alpha Dream not too long ago, and I think a lot of people were wondering, well, what does that mean for Mario and Luigi? What does that mean for Paper Mario? I think I kind of assumed that, like, based on the release schedule, regardless, they had been working on a new Paper Mario game. I'm not going to say, like, whether they saw foresight on what was going on with the Alpha Dream situation, and then they were, like, designing around that, because that seems a little premeditated. But you do have to wonder now, like, given the situation, based on how this will be received, based on, like, what they want to do with the Mario and Luigi series, if at all, like, where are they going to go from here? Because I think a lot of people thought that after Color Splash they weren't going to evolve that anymore. I think they were going to shake it up, and I think that they are. But you got to wonder, like, with the other RPG series not being present at the moment, are they going to bring more of that in, or are they just going to keep evolving where they're going with the Paper Mario series now? It's kind of up in the air, but we'll see.
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely a time will tell kind of thing. I mean, if we try to guess the timeline for everything, the last Mario and Luigi game came out in early 2019, so about roughly a year and a half ago was when it came out, and it was, likely Alpha Dream's work was done on it probably sometime in late 2018. Maybe even earlier than that.
I think they had been hiring for a Switch game, if I remember correctly.
So they helped out on Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games.
Okay.
I believe they did. I think it's in the credits or something. I think they did a lot of stuff on, like, the retro things there, because they've got pixel experience.
Yeah, they do
over there at Alpha Dream. And I think the story of Alpha Dream, filing for bankruptcy and shutting down is that I think the Mario and Luigi series might not have been, like, quote unquote renewed by Nintendo, and or Alpha Dream tried to strike out on their own doing non Mario and Luigi stuff, and I don't think it really panned out. But I think what I'm getting at is that I think that the Mario and Luigi series and Alpha Dream's demise, that effect hasn't been felt on the Paper Mario series yet.
Okay.
Because I think that if we do say that, like, maybe the sales forecasts were already bad for Mario and Luigi, and after that Bowser's Inside Story game came out, which, if you've never played Bowser's Inside Story, 3DS version's the best way to play it. It's a very good version of a very good game.
Great game, yeah.
But the sales for that, I believe, were, like, horrendous.
Yeah, I want to say it was one of the worst
3DS
selling Mario games like that.
Yeah, it was a 3DS game coming out in 2019.
Yeah.
That definitely didn't help. But, like, if we look at how game development probably worked with the Origami King, if this game is coming out in July of 2020, it's likely been in development for, I don't know, at least 2 years, probably. Mm-hmm. So it would have been in development. Like, likely the plan for what Paper Mario the Origami King was going to be, that was set in stone.
Yeah.
So it wasn't going to feel the effect of Mario and Luigi winding down. I do wonder, kind of zooming out a little bit, what will happen with those Mario RPG franchises, because, yeah, like, Paper Mario isn't, I mean, especially at this point, this will be the 6th Paper Mario game. 4 of them are not purebred RPGs.
Yeah, the series is not the traditional anymore. It is.
Yeah, it is an adventure game.
Yeah.
like that's what Paper Mario is, and I do think the Origami King is going to lean a little bit more on the RPG side of things, but probably like you might not be leveling up necessarily, but there will probably be other elements, like how Color Splash did reward you by refilling your paint at the end of the battle, giving you new cards, filling up your paint meter as you went through battles. Like it did do ways of rewarding you. It wasn't a traditional experience point level up system though, but I also think that Paper Mario kind of works better when it's striking its own path, even in failure like Sticker Star. I think that Paper Mario is a more fun series when it's kind of doing its weird thing, and I think Paper Mario the Origami King is Paper Mario doing its weird thing, and I hope it does it really well.
I couldn't agree more with you. There is a meter in the footage underneath the HP bar that is like a bag, and it's got a green circle around it, and then there's a different shot of it with the bag like slightly falling over, maybe like emptier, and it's got a yellow ring around it. So I don't know if that's like a 1-to-1 replacement for whatever the paint mechanic was about, but I didn't like see any experience points. So, and again, like you said, like with this ring mechanic with the combat, it is trying something new. It is innovating, and that's something I've kind of come to expect, whether you love it or hate it. Paper Mario, like they really like to try new things with the series, albeit some of the things people just don't like, and some of the things that they bring over and then carry through people don't really care for. However, with the Mario and Luigi games, I think the only evolution I saw from those was that the bros attacks got more and more extravagant and longer with every game. But by and large, like I felt like each game was considerably the same. Some games are definitely better than others because based on how they experimented, but by and large I feel like you're definitely getting more of a different experience with each of the Paper Mario titles, and I agree with you. I'm here for when they try something new and fun and different, because that's a fun thing about the series.
Also, the tall toads are weird.
Yes, people are like pointing that out like it's a new thing. I was like, that was in Sticker Star, guys, but maybe not everyone played that.
People actually play Sticker Star, and they just complaining about it.
Yeah, I know.
I do, I have a vague memory of that. I won't lie, played a lot of Sticker Star, blocked most of it out at this point.
Yeah, I've been considering replaying it for the sake of getting footage for our website, and then I'm like, do I really want to? The cross I must bear.
Well, in 2 months' time, we'll be playing Paper Mario the Origami King.
Yeah, we are.
And I'm sure there will be more Paper Mario the Origami King content coming out up until then, and probably after launch as well. So, Xander, thank you very much for joining me talking about Paper Mario the Origami King.
Thank you for having me, Neal.
Check out the rest of our footage about it. Xander's going to have an analysis video. I'm going to have a video somewhat related to the Paper Mario series at large about why I think Paper Mario Color Splash is good, actually. And yeah, I mean, Xander, you have your reaction video up.
Yeah.
You have your video predicting this a couple months ago,
which is getting so much attention now. I keep getting all these notifications, and it's because I think what's happening is people are typing into YouTube Paper Mario Switch, and I think that's like in the title of that video. So it's making some. You
played the SEO game well.
Yeah, I know. I like to play the long-term game.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm super excited for this game. It's definitely brightening up what was looking to be a potentially dark summer. It still might be a dark summer, but
yes.
There will be a colorful Mario game to play.
Yes.
So that's cool.
Thank you so much, Neal.
Bye.
See ya.
This video was made possible by our generous supporters on Patreon. Check out patreon.com/NWR for all the details.